description of a Platonic type debate that the king of the Khazars invites the Jews, Christians, and Muslim leaders to have in his presence over which is the superior religion. And since Judah Halevi is a famous, he's in Spain, he lives near Toledo, this Spanish Jewish writer before the expulsion of the Jews from Spain in the 1490 period. The last expulsion was the Jews from Spain in 1492. That was the last expulsion. The Jews had been in Spain for, I said, pre-Roman times. And when Spain was reunified, the first thing the Spanish monarchy did was expel all Jews and Muslims, and that's why they instituted the Inquisition. So they wanted to get people who had falsely converted as far as they were concerned, both Jews and Muslims, but I think primarily Jews, because most of the Muslims either left or converted. They didn't have fake conversions, as it was called. But the Jews, there were some, what was called Morano. I'm not often spelling this thing right. Probably it's like that. I don't know how to spell it anyway. Probably it's got two N's, but anyway. Fix my spelling from one of your indexes. But Moranos were fake converts who made believe they were Christian but kept Jewish tradition in private. You know, they've done DNA testing in Spain, and comes out that sort of like, I don't know, something like 25% of the population is basically Jewish in Spain. It's just a huge amount still there within the if you want to speak of blood types or something.
They're Catholics now.
Oh yeah, Spain is Catholic since the Inquisition, and you wouldn't stand up to the Inquisition. I can assure you. You know, we have in northern Mexico and southern southwestern United, we have what are called conversos. How many have heard of that? They're Spanish Jews who came to Mexico and you know, Santa Fe area, and then they were called conversos, and then they wanted to more recently re-emerge as Jews in some way, but they remember their Jewish past, even though they're Catholic at the moment. There's a special name for them, conversos. What?
It's crypto Jews, right? Is that the same
Something
thing?
like that. You would call them crypto Jews.
But
they're not even, you know, it's not clear that they know what being a Jew is, but they have some customs that right. Remain even now, and many of them came to this area of the Southwest, northern Mexico and Southwest United States, New Mexico area, for some reason.
I thought I had heard or read that some of that had been kind of debunked a little bit.
Yeah, there may be some debunking, but there's a lot there too. Not all, obviously anything is debunkable, but there's a lot there as well. I mean, so anyways, yeah, some people want to do it, some want to pretend they are too, because they feel rootless anyway, and they want to. But there is quite a lot of in Spain anyway. I mean, I think everyone admits it in Spain. You scratch anyone there, and there's a huge Jewish background somewhere. So anyway, the Inquisition was brought about to hunt these people down, and it's a pretty dreadful matter. I mean, I'm not, again, not an expert on it, but the worst part is that they exported it to the Americas and were, you know, applying it to Indians, which is really, I think, sick, frankly. You can't get any sicker than that. But who am I to judge other sicknesses? I just say, to me, that's totally sick. That was very recent, almost 1500. Then the final expulsions took place. We're just getting ready for the coming back in period when they're expelling people. Any case, so we're talking about Eastern Europe, where the huge population pool. I don't think the Spanish population pool went to Eastern Europe. We know that the Spanish population pool, that's why all the Jews of North Africa now and the Middle East are called Sephardi. The reason that they're called Sephardi is Spain, Sepharad is the Jewish name for Spain. Sepharad. And so Sephardi is Jews of Spanish background. Now, someone from Yemen, and you know, Jews are very widespread. Ethiopia, Yemen, you'd be amazed. There's Jews in China, and there's groups in Japan that claim to be a descendant of Jews, and I think there are some indications that there are some who are, because the trade was very widespread. I mentioned that to you before, the silk trade and the East India Company was originally a Jewish company. The famous East India Company of the Netherlands. And then that's why Cromwell wanted to bring them back into England to get involved in the East India trade. And so you say, well, how come they were so good? Well, because they had congregants in all these different places. You didn't need to go there with any money. You could just sign a chit, an IOU or something like that. You could go to like India and there'd be some Jewish community there and they would recognize your status or whatever. I mean, that gave them a tremendous advantage. Yes, it certainly did. You know, they didn't need to have pay people salaries, have banking institutions in Macau or someplace. They already had some people out there. And a lot of this is documented in the very famous collection I mentioned before. I'll mention again. Sorry to jump around, but there's such a vast background here, you know. The Cairo gets to be appreciated. The Cairo Geniza, I told you about, that's where some Dead Sea Scrolls were found, before the scrolls were discovered. We still use the document in Dead Sea Scrolls that was found there called the Cairo-Damascus document, because it's the most complete version of this document. We found it in the Dead Sea area about 12 or 10 or 7, I don't know how many different copies of it in different handwriting, but not complete. But in the Cairo Geniza we have 2 variant, but one complete and one a different version. 2 texts of it there. How did it get there? Because some people hadn't got it out of the caves earlier and never put it in the caves. And it then ended up in, but also in the Cairo Geniza, which a Geniza is a place where you bury old documents that have the name of God usually in them, because you're not allowed to destroy them. But in there you also throw all the old documents, prayer books, letters, everything, marriage licenses. So it turned out in this Geniza there was material from the whole Mediterranean trade situation of the 10, 11, and 1200s. And there was all, you know, behind this wall that they uncovered, there were letters from India and places like that, and correspondence across the Mediterranean and so on. So it became a total picture of mercantile trade in the Middle Ages in the Mediterranean. This is really interesting. And the few Dead Sea Scroll documents were a minor interest to most people. It was a sociological view of Europe that they provided. And you know, they actually had a document there, a letter from the Khuzar